Venezuela, what they don't want you to know. Hey gang, this is Mike with MrNoFluff.com, and I want to take a moment and explain the truth about Venezuela, in my opinion, the way I see it, versus what's pitched in the media. Okay. Now, before I do, I need to make sure you understand this point because we have to go back in history a little bit. Okay. Now, in that country, there's been an old president. Okay, we're not even gonna name them, and a new president. Okay. Well, the old president, what he did is in their country, okay, he took all the wealth or the oil and natural resources, okay, and he gave it to all his people, right? And so why did he do that? Because he came in from poverty himself, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. So the old president of Venezuela, he took the natural oils and gave it back to the actual citizens of the country versus, okay, giving it away to, you know, corporations like Exxon and Mobil or US based businesses. Okay. The other thing we need to understand that Venezuela's old president didn't have a central bank as we do with like Federal Reserve and other countries that are massively indebted. Okay, and one other thing we need to understand is that Venezuela is a pretty rich country. Okay, now some of you guys say, well, man, if they're in such a rich country, why are their people starving? Why are they? Well, let me talk about something that's we're doing as America, which is we're weaponizing the dollar through sanctions. Okay, and sanctions, okay, is basically one person trading with another person in a different part of the world. This is one country and this is one country, and they trade with each other. Okay, and sanctions cuts this off. So if you're this person, let's say in this Venezuela, and all these other countries now, you know, are not allowed to trade with you. Okay, so not every country produces all their stuff. Some countries don't produce the medicine, they buy it, they produce oil, they trade it, get currency, and then they buy the medicine or buy rice or whatever the country is. Okay, so they export and they import. That's normal. Okay, everything in your home, your refrigerator, you didn't make it. You went bought it. You did some kind of service. You rendered. You got money, and then you bought it. So that's in the personal level versus the country level. It's the same. So what's happening is that this country is so rich, Venezuela, but the people are so poor is because America and many other countries are because of America's lead sanctioning these people, and not only the people that suffer the most are the middle class, the poor people. Okay, because they can't get X or Y because inflation just takes off like crazy. Okay, now let me tell you a story. My uncle just came from Iran and he lives in America and Iran is in the sanction too. And he was telling me that people are basically like almost starving out there. One example he was giving me is like before people would eat like sheep and cow and chicken, etc. Now people cannot afford to eat it every day. They eat it once every 2 weeks. And I said, why? He said, well, before, for example, let's say it would cost $10 to buy a chicken, a pound of chicken. Now the same chicken, okay, is costing $14,000. So the inflation has gone. Now they're in toman instead of dollars, but I'm just giving you a simple example. So he was saying that if you could buy something, a pound of chicken for 10 toman, now it's 14,000 tomans. So that's why people are skipping it and only having meat once every 2 weeks. And I thought about it, I was like, man, that is pretty crazy. He's like, yeah, man, people over there cannot afford it. Not because the country is not rich, because they cannot exchange back and forth with other people to receive money and goods and services. Okay. And so now coming back to the story, that's what's going on over there, and that's why the people are poor, not because of the country, because they have big oil reserves and natural resources and etc. But they're being sanctions, and people are basically starving. They're losing thousands of pounds all over the world. I mean, all over Venezuela in that country, which is pretty sad. Okay, um, and why would America want to sanction them is because they want to get uprising of the people to overthrow their government. Okay, so now why would they want to do that? Why would these countries want to overthrow Venezuela? Well, because they want the resources in that country. Okay, they want to install, a president that's willing to do what they say, right? Because they could extract out the natural resources, the oils, the whatever other resources that they see fit. Now, why would I say that? Well, guys, I came from a country, Iran, and the reason I'm a refugee is because America overthrew the government there in Iran, and they put the Khomeini there before there was the Shah, right, which is uh, and they put it Islamic crazy, where they took women's rights away. You weren't able to have fun, and you had to pray. So before, what Iran wasn't like that, okay, and America set that up through what they call coup or whatever they want to call it, but they're overthrowing countries for their own benefits, and but then backfires on them sometimes. But I know that for a fact that this has been going on. Now, some people say that, hey, man, we should be the police of the world, okay? Um, and because we have the greatest ideas, and I say, let's think about it. Do we have the greatest ideas? Because we're having the most people locked up in prison system than any other country, okay? Our governments are in debt, our people are in debt, our corporations are in debt. We're having kids go to school and shoot each other. We're having Las Vegas shootings where people coming out the window and massacring people, right? So apparently there's something not good with our society either. And even though I love America, I'm just saying who are we to push our ideas on other people, right? And to be the police. Now, if we were leading because we're the leader of peace and prosperity, then yes. But we're not. We have so many people locked up, so many people are living below poverty. We're having soldiers come back with all kinds of mental diseases because they had to do stuff that it's hard for them to digest later. Right? Mom and dads have to work all the time. They don't even get to see their kids. They gotta have three jobs. I remember a time when, just the dad had to work, and that was enough. I remember a time if you had a college degree, you were set. Now you got to have a college degree and you have to work two jobs or three jobs. So I don't think in that sense, we have the best system, and who are we to tell other people what to do in other countries? Which is the craziest thing. And that's why, they don't want you to know is, the deep state or whoever you want to call it, the bankers, the elites, the people that want to run the world and enslave most of us through work production instead of spending time with our kids because we live in a world of abundance. I mean, the bird builds its nest in like a couple of days. He doesn't have to go to college or university or special training to learn. The mouse, same thing. The snake, same thing. So why does it take us 30 years to pay off a house? See, that's I don't know, just the work slaves. So that's the majority of people are subscribing to in America. So I don't think, we should be going out there saying our system is the best. If our system was the best, then people would subscribe to our system without guns pointing at their head. And I'm saying let's focus on ourselves. Let's focus on our own country and make us the best. And then people will want to look up to us. But just because we have the best military and just we're pointing guns at people, that doesn't make us the best. It makes us a bully. Okay. And so the old president was not wanting to subscribe to giving his country's resources up to the corporation, the one percenters, etc. And the next new guy that took over, right? Um, the world elite had decided to, you know, hurt Venezuela through sanctions and not buying or manipulating the oil because, if you don't know Americans, Saudi Arabia, the petrodollar, you got to Google that stuff or watch my YouTube channels. Okay. So the new president is in there, and now the people are not educated to realize that, hey, guess what? All this inflation is not because the government's printing money, which is true, they're printing money, right? But because of sanctions, that they're not able to deal with other countries and they can't get their medicine, this and that. And that's not really the new president's fault, right? Because he's not willing to let go of the natural resources. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that I agree with the new president or the old president. I'm just saying that, man, I think we should just mind our own business and make our business better before, we have so many people. I mean, like in Chicago, there's more people getting shot than, a war and that we've been fighting for many years. Okay. There's countries in America that the water system is like Flint, horrible. There's poverty everywhere, right? So country businesses are leaving, businesses are going under, and so I think we should focus on that. We kill technology, we kill growth by so much restrictions. If you want your kid to sell a lemonade these days, you got to have a license or something, man. It's like you can't even teach your kids how to be an entrepreneur. And that's what we live in. We live in the world of the metrics in a sense that we're just workhorses. They want us to be workhorses. They don't want us to be free and know the truth. And at the same time, work us, tax us, and then kill a bunch of innocent people all over the world through sanctions, through the mother of all bombs, through you know, precision bombing, just words. Words are swords, man. If you spell it correctly, words have spells to them, and I don't believe the words. Like Bob Marley says, they got money for bombs, but they don't got money to feed the homeless, the hungry. And I agree with that. I mean, like the amount of money we spend on just policing the countries, and we could actually solve some of the world's problems, from cancer to, you know, killing the planet left and right, and etc. All right, because that's our home too. So the truth about Venezuela is that they're putting the squeeze on these guys, and they want that guy out. They put some other guy that they said he's the president without the people voting, and they've seized their money. The bankers have seized Venezuela's money, and that's why I don't believe in banking, because at any time they could take your money. As simple as that. No warning, no nothing. Money's freeze, dude. Okay, and you can see a great example in Venezuela. Now imagine other countries are thinking, man, I have my money at Bank of England. I have all this gold there. I want my money. But they start thinking about that because they see that if you want your money, they're not going to give it to you. Okay, which is another important point. Man, if you leave your shit at the banks, man, you're at the jeopardy of them. Your stuff is now someone else's custody. That's just crazy. All right. So, anyways, guys, um, if you like these videos, click the like button, subscribe, and last but not least, don't forget to join my mastermind because there's great opportunities coming, man. There's great opportunities. It's already here. The stocks are shaky, and for just 19 bucks a week, okay, 76 bucks a month, you can join me with many other happy students that are marching forward to their dreams as we talk right now. Okay, and I show them how to find motivated sellers, how to structure, how to wholesale, how to do fix and flip, how to be a landlord, how to market, how to negotiate, how to set up websites, everything you can imagine in this mastermind. Because the only goal is to help you be your dreams without debt, without a banker, guys. If you don't know, I'm not a fan of bankers. I'm a fan of freedom. I'm a fan of creativity, imagination. So Venezuela's putting the squeeze on them, and I'll keep you guys updated and see what's going on. See you later. Peace.